I'm not wearing a shirt tonight, and somebody always has something to say about how I never wear a shirt in these videos. So I'm invoking the energy of Big Joel tonight. We just finished watching Bodies, 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 which is an A24 film that came out in 2022, starring, among other people, Pete Davidson is the notable cast member. And I knew nothing about this movie. I just remember hearing the title a lot. I think it was kind of in the hype days of Pete Davidson dating Kim Kardashian and all that. So I had I knew nothing about the plot, nothing about the reputation of the movie or anything, and it was kind of good. I wasn't expecting it. It was very weird. You know what movie it reminded me a lot of was Spring Breakers by Harmony Korine. Not because it was weird or particularly artistic. It just was so. It felt very much like it was like a teen. It's like a teen murder mystery, sort of, where they're all trapped in a big mansion and people are dying off, and you're trying to figure out like who's killing, who's responsible. And there's a pretty fun twist to it. But man, I mean, the acting was pretty average, I think, from everybody. The direction was kind of average. The story was creative in one particular element that I don't really want to give away. But I think what I enjoyed most about it, one, the music I thought was pretty fun. Just because it was very hip-hoppy. I don't know. The movie was trying to be really young. And I think it succeeded with that, with being like culturally aware, but it was super self-aware about the culture. And with that, it had this underlying tone of satire and funniness to it. So there's a lot of drama between the characters, and it's very teen, sort of Gen Z type drama, if you will, internet drama type energy. But it worked really well because it was very self-aware of how stupid that sort of is. And so the drama is dramatic, but on purpose in a way that, again, it's understanding how stupid it sounds. And it creates this really nice bedrock of comedy. And so as much as it's maybe a thriller, I would describe this as a comedy, personally. Like if I were to say what kind of movie this is, I would think it's funny. There's not a whole lot that it brings to the genre other than that. I don't honestly have too much. I mean, everything that I really want to say to it is a spoiler. And I think this movie is kind of special going into it, not knowing anything about it. So I would just recommend it. You know, I mean, there's certainly things that I would pick apart on it, but this movie doesn't strike me as a movie that needs to be picked apart. It lives in a very peculiar sort of zone for me in terms of good and bad. It's actually, it also is very similar. I don't know if anybody ever watched the show Scream Queens. Was very similar, where it was like a teen horror, but it was kind of making fun of that formula and a lot of those tropes, and this movie did a lot of that. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't it wasn't a flagship of that. It wasn't anything that I think will be a landmark in this genre, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just a movie that if you ever come across it, it's certainly worth watching, just because it's pretty funny and kind of different, and it's short. Oh my God, that's one of the reasons why we watched it, because we picked out a bunch of movies, and the reason why this won over others was just because it is 93 minutes, and I just feel like it's getting more and more rare to find a movie that's actually 93 minutes anymore. Everything's the freaking 2-hour mark. Everything that used to be the Oscar mark, and now it's just the standard. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old and tired, but when you're trying to fit a movie in so you can go to bed on time, 93 minutes is really appreciated. So that's it. That's really all I have to say about it. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I think it lands a pretty solid 7 out of 10, very unexpectedly in ways that I wouldn't really expect it. Technically, the movie was like okay. Story-wise, the movie was okay, but there's just an X factor to it that I think tied everything really nicely together. So I enjoyed it. I was gripped. We were watching it. I felt engaged. And at the very beginning, I was like, I don't think I can even watch this movie because it's very weird. It's hard to grasp onto at first. The The pacing is weird. There's a lot of shots that hold for a weird, like the editing is kind of, I don't know if it's bad or just bizarre on purpose. I mean, A24 films, they're artistic, but now I think they're kind of like trying to be artistic. I don't, whatever that means to you. Yeah, good movie. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it more than a lot of the movies that I've seen recently for a very unexpected reason. And maybe that's just because I had no previous expectations of it.